Hello everyone, this is Mr. Mahmud here. In today's lesson we are going to look at fractional and negative indices exam style questions. Now if you haven't watched the video on negative indices and fractional negative indices video, then I highly recommend you watch those two videos prior to this one. You will find the links to those videos in the description below or on the top right hand corner. These are exam questions which appeared in Edexcel GCSE Maths exam. Let's look at question 1. Write down the value of 64 to the power of half. And we know anything to the power of half is the square root of that number. So we can find the square root of 64, which gives us 8. Because 8 times 8 is 64, and this is worth 1 mark. Next question, B. Find the value of 8 over 125 minus 2 over 3. So we have a fractional negative indices. We just flipped it over, and the power becomes positive. Now the denominator in the power is a 3, so that we're going to do cube root of those two numbers, and the numerator is 2, and then we are going to square it. So let's go ahead and cube root it first. So cube root of these two numbers, 125 over 8, and then square it. Now cube root of 125, we know it's 5 because 5 times 5 times 5 is 125, and 8 cube root of 8 is 2 because 2 times 2 times 2 is 8. And now we're going to square it. 5 squared is 25 and 2 squared is 4. Our answer is 25 over 4, and this is worth 2 marks. Question 2, we have write down the value of 125 to the power of 2 over 3. Over here we have a positive power, so we know the denominator is 3, so we're going to cube root it, and the numerator is 2, and we're going to square it after cube rooting it. So let's go ahead and cube root 125 and then square it. Now cube root of 125 is 5, and square of 5, which is 25. So our final answer is 25, and this is worth 1 mark. Write as a power of 3. Now this is more like a foundation question, so we need to write as a power of 3. Now we know that when you multiply we need to add the powers, so 3 to the power of 5 and 3 to the power of 4, when you times them, that should give us 3 to the power of 5. Add 4 is 3 to the power of 9, and then we have 3 squared at the bottom. Now 3 to the power of 9 divided by 3 squared. Now when we divide, we take away the power. So 3 to the power of 9 take away 2, and that gives us an answer of 3 to the power of 7. And it says write it as a power of 3, and our answer is a power of 3. And this is worth 2 marks. Next, write down the value of 12 to the power of 0. Now we know anything to the power of 0 is 1. Pretty straightforward, 1 easy mark. Write down the value of 3 to the power of minus 2. We have a negative power, so we can flip it over. So 3 to the power of minus 2 can be written as 1 over 3 squared. And 3 squared is 9, so that gives us 1 over 9. Our final answer is 1 over 9, and this is worth 1 mark. Another similar question to what we did before, but this time we have a negative there, so be careful when you have negatives. And we're multiplying, so we're going to add the powers. When you get a question like this, always try to write down the working, so 3 to the power of 7, and we are adding a minus 2. So we have plus and a minus here, so we're going to change the sign to a negative. If you haven't looked at the rules of negatives, when you multiply and divide, please check out that video. So that will give us 3 to the power of 7 take away 2 is 5, so 3 to the power of 5 divided by 3 cubed. Now we can take away the powers because we are dividing. So 3 to the power of 5 take away 3 is 3 to the power of 2. So the answer is 3 to the power of 2. And it's worth 2 marks. Just a quick correction on this question. The question asked you to find the value, so we need to find 3 squared is equal to 9. Thank you. Question 5, write these numbers in order of size. Start with the smallest number. So we have 5 to the power minus 1, 0.5 minus 5, 5 to the power of 0. Now they all have 5 in it, but we need to find out which one is small and which one is the biggest. So what we can do is we can change it into all in the same form. So we can change it into a decimal. So because we already have a decimal here, and if you need to change any of them into a whole number, we can do. So 5 to the power minus 1, we know from the negative indices video, we can write it as 1 over 5. And 1 over 5 is same as writing 0.2. 0.5 already in decimal, so we're going to leave it as is. Minus 5 is an integer, so we're going to leave it as is. And 5 to the power of 0, we know it is same as 1. So 5 to the power of 0 is 1. Okay, so the smallest number here is going to be minus 5. And the rest of the numbers that we can see, they are positive. Then we have 0.2, and write the original form, which is 5 to the power minus 1. Then we have 0.5, which is in decimal already, so 0.5, and finally 5 to the power of 0 is 1. So we're going to write it as the original form, which is 5 to the power of 0. And this is worth 2 marks. Okay, that was the last question. I hope this video helps you. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Mr. Mahmud, helping you do better in maths.